Penguin Random House Audio presents The Heart is the Strongest Muscle. Know your why and take your mindset from great to unstoppable. This is the author, Tia Toomey. To Shane, Willow, and the rest of my family. A note from the author. This book is for anyone who really wants to change their life. It is not for someone who is looking for excuses or unwilling to go full tilt in unleashing their potential. I'm going to be straight with you throughout these pages because the advice is that simple and that black and white. There is no grey area when it comes to winning. Introduction. I never started CrossFit to become one of the most dominant athletes of all time. The goal at first was likely similar to yours, to simply help me get fitter. But it has done way more than that. My path over the years has allowed me to evolve as a person, as everything I've learnt in the gym has applied in my daily life. And the biggest lesson in being a champion isn't just about gold medals. It's really about the journey and all the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. This became very apparent after I came in second for the second time at the CrossFit Games in 2016. After that disappointing experience, I realized that I needed to understand what I was missing. It wasn't the physical aspect I brought to the floor. I was good there. But I realized that I had not yet fully engaged the right mindset I needed to commit 100% to becoming unstoppable. That was the moment when I needed to choose my path. Was CrossFit going to be my future or just a stepping stone? I found myself thinking about something my dad had said to me when I was a little girl growing up on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. You always need to feed your mind. When he said that, I was so young, I thought he meant literally feeding the brain with real food. I now know better, of course. And I know that he meant my body can physically keep going all day, every day, but I also have to train my mind. If I neglected that, I would hold myself back. The body is built to do incredible things, but the mind and the heart determine how far you will go. I had always brought the hard work and given my absolute best, but I had to figure out how to better apply my mental fortitude to my advantage. So, I did what anyone would do. I began to read books and listen to podcasts about mental performance. There is a saying that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, even though I could talk all day long. I read everything I could get my hands on and listened to all the experts, and while this did provide some great inspiration, nothing taught me the secret of getting on top of the podium. However, it did help provide reassurance that I was on the right track. It also helped me understand why I felt the way I did. As I began to better understand the processes that were already happening to me when I was training and competing, Shane, my husband and coach, and I didn't know it at the time, but we were on a path to making me unstoppable. Looking back now, while being physically dominant is certainly part of it, moving from being great at CrossFit to unstoppable required a relentless commitment from the body, mind, and heart. Anyone from the amateur athlete to the elite professional knows what I'm talking about. That indescribable fire in the belly that gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. every day to work out for years, and years upon years. People can argue over whether or not someone is talented or focused enough, but if they don't have that workhorse mentality to keep the grind going, everything else falls apart. Throughout my time competing in the CrossFit Games, the 2016 Rio Olympics, the 2018 Commonwealth Games, as well as qualifying for a spot in the 2022 Olympics 2-woman bobsled team, my road to success has not been easy. I have hit lots of walls, roadblocks, hurdles, whatever metaphor you choose, but what has gotten me through it all is my recalibrated focus and never losing my heart in the game. You can train your mind and body to be a machine, but if your heart isn't in it, you might as well pack it in and call it a day. Anyone can give you a workout schedule and say, hey, do this and you'll be competing with the rest of us. But that isn't how the game is won. True success comes from your heart and your head, not just your physical performance. Obviously, you need to physically be able to do a lot of things, but if you aren't committed and you don't mentally prepare, then your physical ability is only going to get you so far. What you are listening to now is the blueprint to how I became unstoppable and how you can too. Chapter 1. Keep the heart beating. Finding your why and keeping the momentum. I grew up on a sugarcane farm near Dunathan Rock, which sits along the Maroochy River on the Sunshine Coast, about 60 miles north of Brisbane, Australia. While my home was just a few miles outside of town, it might as well have been 1,000 miles away. To get to school, I'd often canoe or boat off the beautiful lush riverbank in front of our property to a neighbouring farm, where I could then catch the school bus. After school, the undeveloped bush that was my backyard would be my playground, where I'd ride my motorbike, play ball with my dogs, and swim in the rolling saltwater river. From a young age, my parents encouraged me to expend that energy in many different avenues. From taking up music, I went from playing piano to the guitar to the drums to all kinds of sports. At one point, I played a different sport every afternoon after school, but I took to running the most. It was the training runs that made me understand how important it was to have a strong foundation and work hard for something. I love the simplicity of being so incredibly physical without any prop or equipment. It felt so freeing to just take off on my own. I also like the individualism of it, that you are responsible for your success alone, even though it was as much a team effort with my mum and dad helping me along the way. I really want to see how far I can go with my running. I blurted out to my parents one night at the dinner table. I was about 11 at the time. I want to represent Queensland, our state, at nationals. Okay, Tia, we're going to have to work hard and you're the one who's going to have to get up early in the morning. And you're going to have to do training sessions in the afternoon, my dad said. My mum added, and when your friends ask you to go over for sleepovers, you're going to have to say no, because you're going to have to train on the weekends. Yep, got it. I answered enthusiastically and looked back at them with steel-eyed determination. From that day on, I had support from my parents. Never too much, never too little, which gave me an amazing space in which to develop and grow. I woke up at 5 a.m. to hit the pool every single morning. My dad was big on cross-training and trained when I got home from school every single day. I'm sure a lot of people thought, whoa, why are her parents grinding her when she's so young? But it was all me. I was the one getting my dad up and bugging him that we had to go. Don't get me wrong, there were definitely mornings where I would whine groggily at my dad, just a few more minutes of sleep. Well, if you want to make it to nationals, this is what it takes, Tia. I knew he was right. I had my first major cross-country competition at age 11, and I was so incredibly nervous. At that age, it seemed that the other runners had so much more experience than me, and here I was just making my debut. But I placed third on that first meet, and I told my dad incredulously, Dad, I think I could actually win at this stuff. My motivation went into overdrive after placing third, as I continued competing. My dad was my first coach. He had been an athlete himself. He had competed regionally in swimming and football, soccer to you Americans, so he knew how to pump me up before a meet. He would shout encouragement from the sidelines, such as, come on, Tia, show me how big your heart is. My mum was always there too, standing next to him cheering me on.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?